So this drill we've called symmetric palisut. I'm sure it has some official name in the Pikiti system. I have no idea what that is. Symmetric palisut was a name given to it by Jason and I, who were looking for a name to differentiate between the different drills. My instructor called it like palisut 1, and then another drill is palisut 2. We just came up with these different names to give ourselves an easier identification about what we were doing. A lot of things in the Filipino martial arts don't have a name, or the name will be created on the spot. So this is our creation on the spot in terms of the nomenclature. Palisut refers to hooking motion. This drill is the reverse of knife tapping. It's basically what I get to do as the guy in reverse grip in terms of close range attack lines. In knife tapping, the initiator is coming in the thrust, and then he's working a series of cut and passes. And I'm pretty much always working these defensive lines throughout knife tapping. It's much more about the counter offense. This one is much more equal in terms of offense defense. In fact, I'm actually in a lot of cases while I'm always working a counter offense, I've got very powerful attacks forcing him to react. He's not the one who always leads this attack. He's reacting to me. The initiation of that is the same. If he shows the knife tapping entry, is we shift away, we create this space here. If it was knife tapping in terms of the drill, he's used that as a bait, and now he's trying to cut my belly here and pass it by. Okay. One of the differences is here is he thrusts here. I get this line, and now I get an enter. Okay, and it's up to him to be able to deal with my structure. When we're drilling and sort of free flowing, either one of us can go. It's bad if I enter and he doesn't do anything, and he enters and we both die. You know, that should be a piece in your training where, okay, you know, not the right answer and not the appropriate answer of what we should have done. One of us or both of us failed to read, and at the same time, you know, this is one of those pieces where they say, a third of all knife fights end in both people dying if you're, a third of all knife fights end in one person living. This has been quoted by Musashi. It's been quoted by various Filipino martial arts masters. But if you're better than he is, then you live and he dies. And if he's better than you are, he lives and you die. And if you're both equally good, you both die. There's like I said, that's come out through a lot of different bladed weapon systems, not just the Filipino martial arts, not just the Japanese. And there's a truism to that. There's the damage that happens from bladed weapons is so bad that, you know, without the advent of modern medical care, a lot of them weren't survivable. Even if it was a minor wound, it would get infected and people would die just off of that. Anyway, complete divergence there. As we come in off this piece, we'll start with the low line thrusts that we walk through it. It'll give me a number one thrust. I'm going to shift. Actually, let's turn this way. I'm going to shift off to the side, passing this by, getting tricep control, and then entering here. He's going to shift offline, pass this by, and then try to pick up a gunting. If I have decent control here, he's not going to be able to get my arm, but he's still going to be able to straighten that and worry my face or neck a little bit here. Is it a big power cut? No, but that's okay. So we get to here, he's chambered up, he's going to enter on that 2 line. This will just get my hand stapled to my face if he enters, okay? And trying to do that, you know, is better than nothing, but it's not really an effective answer to the problem here. It doesn't have a lot of structure behind it. Plus, for the guy in palisut on this is all a weapon primary drill. And you're just going to see this recovery of, as this come back to here, deflect, hit this back, and then it's going to come back to my cover position, and then we're going to check down on top. This gives me my entry line for this guy coming in with my number 1 as I come into here. He's going to do a roof block, clear that out, and then he's going to come in on his number 3. Shift away, pick this up, check it, and enter. He's going to pick that up, stop it, and gunting, either tip rip coming back, or he can turn the knife over in his hand, and if he has a single edge weapon, and get his gunting coming that way. Chamber back to number 1, and the drill will repeat. So he comes in, scoop, hit, offline, here, shift away, enter, scoop, enter. My side is really dealing using that Pikiti side step a lot as I run this series. I'm taking cheater steps as necessary, but mostly it's either 90 or 180 degree side steps. Good. So, and that's the core of the drill. If I demonstrate the offensive side or the forward grip on this series, back up a little bit. As I come in the basic line, here, you know, this is fine. Later, if you really want to challenge your opponent, start adding in offline footwork, where I start really shifting offline and making him work and shift more. If he gets too used to just playing this little game here, and I'm just giving him this kind of attack, I can shift this way and really challenge him to read what I'm doing and getting good control off that line. And then he's going to re-enter here. Same thing on this side. Here, this is pretty straightforward. I can really shift and really use a different footwork pattern to really work those edges as we come in. But part of his job is going to be sort of burrowing. He needs to stay at a closer range than I do at forward grip. And so he's really going to be pressing my attack, and I really have to do my work to create my distance and zoning to get those potential offensive pieces in. His job is just to stay at the close range and pick as those different pieces cycle through. Like I said, this is the sort of the opposite side of knife tapping. It's closely related to high box drill in terms of how these roof blocks systems are set up in terms of just the pieces of what we're doing. You remember high box? Sort of, give me the one. So if we, yeah, give me the one. So high box here. Roof. And good. Right. So yeah. So, but you can see the pieces of it, how they interact. This is the same thing that we're doing in this drill already. They're just either done with a knife and done sort of showing as those gunting motions versus the 1 and 3 lines, or instead of the 1 and 2 slashing lines that they're showing versus these thrusting lines instead. So anyway, symmetric palisut, good drill, and we'll see its opposite as we get into the phase 2 material. So good, thank you.
Sorry.
So if you get here, do it. Cut it. Good.
Right.
Yep, and one thrust. Jam it down. Good. No, good thing. Good.